Is you walking in your victory?
Yes, sir.
Using what is your foundation?
His word. See, you gotta let your spirit man emerge.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn?
How you do that?
Where you gon' learn?
How you do that?
Where you gon' learn?
Is you walking in your victory?
Yes, sir.
Using what is your foundation?
His word. See, you gotta let your spirit man emerge.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Where you gon' learn? Hey, let me talk to you real quick. Laced in the word, walking in deliverance. Foundation sitting firm, that's what the business is. Sold out, and this God is my witness. Okay, and we play no games. Hands down, no why, cause we unashamed. No boasting, just bold in Christ. On fire for the Lord like fuel ignite. Amped up, but at the same time I simmer down. I tell my flesh, and then my spirit loud. Am I walking in my victory? I'm wearing the crown because my Father is the King, and I know that now. Moving in my faith, devil get up out my face, all up on my back, trying to tear me down, but he can't. I know you hit it, so quit fighting your flesh, moving your spirit.
Is you walking in your victory?
Yes, sir.
Using what is your foundation?
His word. See, you gotta let your spirit man emerge.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Where you gon' learn?
Knock, knock. Special delivery. It's the Lord thy God, and he here to give you victory. Look, my life used to be flatline. Now I'm living my life and I'm baptized. Hand in the sky like I'm hitting my nay-nay. Hey, I'm just praising, but to them I look crazy. Praying hard to the Holy Spirit. Slay man, I ain't talking about death. I'm talking about rest, get it off my chest. Okay, yeah, I had to break up out imprisonment, and now I'm fighting with Muhammad in the militant. Devil always been a foe, ain't nothing really different. Besides the fact I chose Christ and stuck to my commitment. I must say that it's been a success. So am I walking in my victory? Yes.
Okay.
Rock-a-bye, baby, I'm killing the flesh. Is you walking in your victory?
Yes, sir.
Using what is your foundation?
His word. See, you gotta let your spirit man emerge.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn?
How you do that?
Where you gon' learn?
How you do that?
Where you gon' learn?
Is you walking in your victory?
Yes, sir.
Using what is your foundation?
His word. See, you gotta let your spirit man emerge.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn?
How you do that?
Where you gon' learn?
How you do that?
Where you gon' learn? Where you gon' learn?
Good morning. Yeah, not time for you yet, moaning frogs. It is Wellness Wednesday, and I am your host, Joseph Mikael Page. I am having a wonderful time this morning in wellness, and we also have a guest coming on shortly. I am waiting for her to get here. Not sure exactly where she is, but her name is Dakota Brown. You may have heard of her, you may have not. She is a wonderful advocate for people with disabilities such as myself. And we're going to have her on the line shortly. I'm going to see if I can't reach out to her. But before I do that, let's go ahead and give glory to God. Thank you, Lord, for another morning and everything that you do to make sure that my life is secure. Lord God, I appreciate you for all that you do, who you are, for the Hemet Beat platform, and making every single day a day of wellness for me, a day of wonder for me. I am so grateful for all that you do for me, Lord God. And our scripture of today, it comes from Romans 3:8. Romans 3:8. Okay, so that is, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. Okay, and that law we know is the law of Moses. Okay, so whoever has left no other debt outstanding except for the ones continue to love one another. Okay, so that's the only debt I should owe, is loving my neighbor as I love myself. Yes. Am I doing that? I believe so. Praise God. And I always like to represent that the BibleGateway.com, This is a place that I've been going for so many years to get my Bible scriptures every morning. That's the first thing I check. What is the verse of the day? It's simply BibleGateway.com. They have an app. It's very easy to get into. Let no debt remain outstanding except the one to continue to love one another. Okay, for whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. And I definitely don't want to be a lawbreaker, so it's the opposite of loving one another would have to be breaking the law. Who wants to be caught up hating on somebody else? I definitely don't. Oh, I just checked and there is double mics going on. All right, so I fixed that up. Boom. So we got that out of the way. Now, if you didn't hear it because it was sounding like I was drowning, it is let no debt remain outstanding except the debt to continue to love one another, for whosoever loves one another has fulfilled the whole law. That is our scripture of the day. And now let's check out the weather in Hemet. Today's weather in Hemet is 47 degrees right now, so it's pretty cool outside. And then tomorrow, Thursday, we can be expecting some rain, looks like. And today is going to reach a high of 62. Then we got rain tomorrow, rain Friday, and then you have Saturday should be sunny and picking up with some heat there. Sunday, it's going to be a little warmer and still sunny. Monday, it's going to be 75 and even warmer still. Tuesday, it's going to be sunny, and Wednesday, it's going to be sunny. All right, so while I check on our friend Dakota, we're going to go ahead and listen to a little more Hemet beat. All right, this is Queen of the Night. That first group that you heard, they're called Purpose, and they're from the GMEG family. GMEG is an acronym standing for God Makes Everything Good. It is guided by Pastor Perrin Vonner out there in the Hemet San Jacinto area. I need to get some more information on their church so that I can begin to deliver you that good news. All right, and speaking of good news Riverside Church with Pastor Kurt and Pastor Mary Alice are going to be having their Easter service coming this Sunday. So make sure that you check them out if you're in the Riverside area. It's over there on Colette and La Sierra, right across the street from La Sierra High School. You can't miss it. It's a huge building right there on the corner. It's a wonderful place to worship. I've been there myself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out these moaning frogs. Man, gotta love them moaning frogs, right? So today's topic we were going to be talking about is disability rights, okay? And I'm still trying to get a hold of our guest. I'm not sure if she has any technical difficulties going on her side, but I'm going to do my best to still locate her. Again, her name is Dakota Brown. She's a lovely lady, and I don't know. Where could you be, Dakota? Let's see. Let's give her a ring. Why don't we call her and see if she answers our call? Dakota Brown. Let's see what we get here. Yes, God bless the show. Thank you, viewer, for tuning in and blessing the show. Let's see here. Control V. Send her a Zoom link through her cell phone. Alright.
Please leave your message for Dakota Brown.
Okay, so she is not picking up over there. I guess I will carry on with what we were going to be talking about until she's able to tap in with us. Hopefully, she sees the link and is able to get in to the Zoom with us. I hope we don't miss out on talking to her. She's such a lovely individual. Okay, so disability rights. Let's go down the list of things that she gave me and see if I can't get some information on this stuff myself. All right. And that is the wonderful thing about improv and being a pro. You never, ever have to let yourself down. Let's see here. So, the first thing on our list today will be federal and medical cutbacks. Okay? Federal and medical cutbacks. We're also going to be talking about protecting disability rights in Riverside County, details on upcoming peaceful protests and disability rally. Okay, she knows way more about that than I do, but hopefully she taps in. And the autism walk, okay, happening this Saturday. And then April 29th, there's a live stream on ableism she's going to be doing. I'm not certain exactly what that one's going to be either, but we're going to dig in and we're going to do some research. And this is real time, ladies and gentlemen, how we handle the Hemet Beat Daily Show. Okay, so let's first dig into this federal medical cutbacks, the Medi-Cal cutbacks, and see what they have to say in real time regarding this, all right? Federal medical cutbacks. Let's see. Let's get this out of my face a little bit. All right. Federal funding cuts would decimate medical research. Experts are warning. Okay, so experts are warning us that federal funding cuts will decimate medical research if we don't do something about this. This is one day ago, and it is from the Hematology Advisory. Okay, and let's read into it a little bit more, see what they have to say. Okay, all right, let's see. No, I don't want to register. I just want to read what you have to tell me. Federal funding cuts would decimate medical research, experts warn. Okay. Now, I'm thinking I'm supposed to be looking into how it affects Medi-Cal, though. But let's see what they're saying here. All right, so there's been an overall freeze in funding from the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, okay? Have you heard about this freeze? All right, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's been a freeze in funding from the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, since the start of the Trump administration, and it's been pretty disruptive to the field. Okay, that's coming from Alicia Zoe, the CEO of the Cancer Research Institute. And that's what she told the Health Day TV. All right. And it says, I know, having talked to the scientists who are doing the research, that in a world where they're worried about having NIH funding, they are choosing to only do the less risky projects, Zoe said. Okay, so wow, I mean, that means if they had the money, they'd be doing more risky projects. That's kind of scary to me. The projects that are getting cut are the high risk, higher reward projects. Okay, what are high risk, higher reward projects anyway? She continued, instead, researchers are now going to focus on the projects that they think will immediately result in a publication, because those publications are important for them to show their productivity to their institutions. Okay, well, that makes sense. So you go ahead and you make sure that you do the tests and things that you know are gonna bring about some type of result, that it better be conclusive, that this works, so that the institutions that you're involved with will continue to fund your projects. So I can see the method here. I can see the method. Um, wow, that's pretty deep. And I did want to check one more place for Miss Dakota. Okay, here. No, that's not her. Let's see if she wrote me anything here. All right. Good morning, everyone. Me to Joseph. That's to myself. Let's see here. Last, Wesley, Dakota Brown, disabilities, bananas, fail, drive the test. No, no, she hasn't said anything. Let's see. I'll send her a message. I don't want to leave her out of this great conversation that she gave me the topics to talk about. But you never know what could be happening, so we do pray for Dakota and hope that everything is all right. All right. Let's see here. I will send her the Zoom link. Right here. Oh, that's not the Zoom link. Let me grab the Zoom link. Yeah, I'm still the only one here. Copy link. Okay. And let's send it over to her, see if this will help her. Anything could have gone wrong. Alright, let's see what we get here. Let's view message. Alright, so I sent that over to her. Hopefully she gets it and she can tap in. It is now 8:47 and she is really worrying me. That's how I am. I begin to worry about things. Like, oh, what happened? What could have happened? Why haven't I heard from her? I hope everything's okay. Okay. Also, a big score. I'll be performing at the multicultural event in Moreno Valley tomorrow. That's huge for me, and I'm so blessed to be able to do so. Okay, so now that we've checked out what they had to say about this funding that is touching the National Institute of Health, talking about what the cuts are doing to the Cancer Research Institute. Let's go over here and see how is it affecting Medi-Cal, which is where I get my medical from, and many people on disability receive Medi-Cal. So let's see here. All right, so how are federal budget cuts, I don't know, how are federal budget cuts affecting Medi-Cal? Okay, now let's go ahead and tap in a little harder. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so it says Cal Matters. Okay, so this is a website, the Cal Matters. All right, California medical shortfall hits 6.2 billion from unprecedented. Let's see, that sounds like a very interesting at the top of the list thing we should concern ourselves with. So California's medical shortfall hits 6.2 billion with unprecedented cost increases. Okay, let's see what we got going on. And here's a summary. California spending billions more than planned for Medi-Cal. Some of the cost drives some of the cost drivers include higher enrollment among immigrants without legal status as well as pharmacy costs. Okay, so let's get into it a little deeper now. All right. Welcome to Cal Matters, the only nonprofit newsroom devoted solely to covering issues that affect all Californians. Sign up for What Matters. Okay, and they have a link here. This is Cal Matters to receive the latest news and contemporary commentary. Oh wow, I got it out, didn't I? On the most important issues in the Golden State. And then they have it in Espanol. The hole in California's Medi-Cal budget seems to be bigger than what state officials reported just last week. Okay, California healthcare officials told the legislator on Monday that the state will need another 2.8 billion to be able to pay Medi-Cal providers through the end of the fiscal year. Wow, they're going to need 2.8 billion dollars to be able to pay Medi-Cal providers through the end of fiscal year. That lets me know that there are a lot of unhealthy people in California. There are a lot of sick people here to have to provide that much income to pay that many doctors. Okay, but I mean, what are you going to do? Somebody is really suffering from mental illness, such as I have suffered with mental illness. I go to the clinic and I sit in my group, and I try to keep my mind focused, and we're part of these different things that are going on. All right, so that's on top of a $3.4 billion loan that the administration told lawmakers last week it needed to make critical payments for Medi-Cal bills. Okay, so that's on top of $3.4 billion loan administrators told lawmakers last week that they needed. So that is 2.8 plus 3.4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would make it 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. That's 6 billion point something. I mean, that's crazy. The state federal health insurance program for low income people. Man, they need critical payments. They told, okay, so let me read that one more time so I can get a full understanding myself. That's on top of a $3.4 billion loan that administration told lawmakers last week it needed to make critical payments for Medi-Cal, the state federal health insurance program for low-income people. Man, that includes myself once again. All right, combined, that's $6.2 billion in spending above what was projected in the budget Governor Gavin Newsom signed last summer. Let's read that sentence again. Combined, that's $6.2 billion in spending above what was projected in the budget Governor Gavin Newsom signed last summer. Almost 15 million Californians have health care coverage through Medi-Cal. also known as Medicaid. Wow, so I'm learning something else new. Medi-Cal and Medicaid are the same thing. Okay, with the loan and these additional funds, the administration anticipates being able to manage expenditures for the remainder of the current year. Okay, said Michelle Baez, director of the Department of Healthcare Services, which oversees Medi-Cal. Okay, so with the loan and these additional funds, the administration anticipates being able to manage expenditures for the remainder of the current year. So, just for the rest of this year, which we're almost halfway through, okay, just over a quarter of the year is gone. We need this loan just so that we are able to take care of the rest of this year. That's a lot of hard work that Californians are going to be putting in to try to make up the difference to take care of those that are low income and sitting on Medi-Cal. I just have to say I appreciate you, the hardworking individuals out there that support Medi-Cal and the taxes that go to help those on fixed incomes such as myself. Okay, so I guess I should do a little digging into who Miss Michelle Bass is, the director of the Department of Healthcare Services. And I guess I know who she is now, but I really want to find out her job description a little more and see what she does. She oversees Medi-Cal. I guess I'm answering my question as I read along. Bass told legislators in a budget hearing that several factors are contributing to the higher than anticipated spending, including an increase in pharmacy costs, but also more growth in enrollment than the state projected. For one, the state underestimated the number of immigrants without legal status who would sign up for the program in the last year. Bass said the department had about 1 month of data regarding new policies before it had to make projections for the budget Newsom signed. Wow. I guess that means a little more trouble for immigrants and those that are undocumented. Sheesh. Let's read some more about this, okay? These changes are unprecedented and all happened at once, Baez said. The developments include more immigrants without legal status enrolled in the program than expected. Over the last 10 years, California has expanded Medi-Cal coverage to undocumented people to different age groups. The final group, adults ages 26 to 49, were allowed to apply for Medi-Cal starting January 1st, 2024. In January, May's department estimated California would be spending $2.7 billion beyond what it budgeted. Okay, so they estimated California would be spending 2.7 billion beyond what it budgeted. So they guessed it due to the cost of covering care and prescriptions for newly enrolled immigrants. According to updated estimates from the administration, it costs the state about 8.5 billion from the general fund to cover immigrants who are in the country without legal authorization. Also, starting on January 1st, 2024, more seniors were able to sign up for Medi-Cal after the state stopped counting certain assets such as cars, homes, and savings when considering someone's eligibility. So now, like everyone else, seniors' eligibility is based on their income. Okay, so it seems like we just wanted to increase medical coverage for as many people as we could to have a healthy America, to have a healthy California, to, keep everybody from getting sick. And I mean, you got all kinds of things that happen to the mental health, to substance abuse, to the body, man. And people uh, need medical coverage, but we overextended ourselves. So the program has seen higher overall enrollment due to the pandemic related flexibilities. Okay, so due to COVID-19, California, let's see. Oh man. Okay. Due to the program has seen higher enrollment because of the pandemic. Okay, and California's overall Medi-Cal population ballooned during the COVID-19 pandemic when the federal government temporarily suspended income eligibility checks to keep people insured during the national emergency. The number of people who dropped off the program from the pandemic was smaller than the department assumed. Biden said other states are also going over budget. Nothing noting healthcare spending in general is increasing across the U.S. This is a big deal. It's not too much, so let's go ahead and read a little bit more, then I'll play a song. But I'll tell you my feelings on it is, people are, dying. People died in COVID, and then everybody, of course, you're trying to prevent your family from passing away. You're trying to do everything that you can to make sure that you're covered, and you don't want to lose anybody. But, going over budget has vexed some state Republicans who say the governor and Democrats overpromised when they decided to expand Medi-Cal services to all low-income immigrants. Democrats have come out in defense of the expansion and the state's efforts to keep people covered during the pandemic. The things that you're talking about means that we have been successful. Assembly member Pilar Shiva, don't know how to say that, Shiavo, a Santa Clarita Democrat, told Bass during Monday's hearing, "We have been successful about keeping people covered, about making sure that they have access to health care." Sachiavo added that California's current shortfall is solvable, but less so are the potential cuts to Medicaid and Congress is currently weighing. All right, let's read that again. Chiavo added that California's current shortfall is solvable, but less so are the potential cuts to Medicaid that Congress is currently weighing. House Republicans recently voted to advance a proposal that could result in cuts of $880 billion to a group of programs, largely Medicaid, over the next 10 years, according to some estimates. That could translate into annual losses 10 million to 20 billion a year for California, an amount that state officials have said the state would not be able to backfill. Okay? So this is supported by the Healthcare Foundation, CHCF, which works to ensure that people have access to the care they need when they need it at a price that they can afford. Visit the chcf.org to learn more. Okay. And then we have a picture here with a child being checked out by looks like a nurse practitioner. California has a lot to lose if Trump slashes Medicaid. Seniors, kids, and more could face coverage cuts. I couldn't find a nurse. LA family sues hospital over life altering injuries. All right, so I'm going to play us another track, but I'm still going to look a little bit more because I want to find out what programs are going to be cut potentially that we could be losing coming up soon here. Yeah, that is something to concern myself with, seeing as how I am a recipient. And right now, we're going to play a little Blue Jeans and Skirts from Emily Hillman. Thank you, Miss Emily Hillman, for allowing us to use your music.
Listen when I tell you, God sees everything. Church is for the weary, not for the selfish queen. Church is for the broken, the ones who are weak. Church is for the ones who feel they're too low to breathe. So hey girl, take a look in the mirror. Hey boy, take a look at yourself. It's not how you look or the clothes that you wear. God sees it all and he doesn't care. Listen when I tell you I'm not looking for a fight, but bless your little heart if you don't see the light. Well, I might wear blue jeans or I might wear a skirt, but either way I know my name is dragged through the dirt. Cause people gonna talk, and that's just how it is. But God knows my heart, and it's just me and him. Hey girl, take a look in the mirror. Hey boy, take a look at yourself. It's not how you look or the clothes that you wear. God sees it all and he doesn't care. Now I don't know what your idea of church is, but if you want my 2 cents, well I'll tell you. Church is supposed to be like a hospital. It fixes your spiritual well-being. But here lately, people care more about what you wear than what's in your heart. So I wrote this here song to tell you all about it. Hey girl, take a look in the mirror. Hey boy, take a look at yourself. It's not how you look or the clothes that you wear. God sees it all and he doesn't care. So hey girl, take a look in the mirror. Hey boy, take a look at yourself. It's not how you look or the clothes that you wear. God sees it all and he doesn't care. And he doesn't care.
Man, I really enjoy her music. That is Emily Hillman once again. Thank you, Miss Emily, for allowing us to use your music. I still don't know what happened to our guest. I'm hoping that everything is okay. We talked yesterday, and it seemed that she was doing just fine. So I'm hoping to hear from her. I really care a lot about Dakota Brown. I'm going to tell you a bit about Miss Dakota Brown that I know. Okay. The bit that I know about Miss Dakota Brown is that she is the liaison for individuals with disabilities with inside of the multicultural or the cultural group that I'm in. She invited me in, and we made this lovely graphic for her. That's Miss Dakota right there. Okay, and she's been so kind to me and helping me to become uh, a better peer myself, a better support and advocate myself. Okay, and I'm wondering maybe if she wanted to test me to see if I could pull this off. That would be better to hear than if anything was wrong with Miss Dakota. So yeah, this is just a lovely graphic that I made of Miss Dakota Brown, and to represent. And as you see, it says joining us live as a co-host. It's going to be Dakota Brown from the Riverside University Health System Behavioral Health Wade Alliance. Wade, it is a um, the Weight Alliance is. I want to dig more to it. I don't want to just give you off the top of my head what the Weight Alliance is. So I'm going to look it up so we can have a definite, and also we're still going to take a look at and find out what programs are possibly going to be cut. But let me tell you how all this today began. What the Weight Alliance is in RUHS. Okay, man, I love my skills to be able to dig into stuff and find things out. Okay, so the Wade Alliance is a community initiative under the direction of the Riverside University Health System. Today is Wellness Wednesday. I want to give a big shout out to uh, RUHS, Behavioral Health, and also to IEHP and Cover California and all of the other wonderful programs out there that support people with disabilities and mental illnesses and substance abuse and all of the different things that go on with us. Thank you, St. Jude's Hospital, and the nurses and the nursing programs on the school campuses like Moreno Valley College, MSJC for sure, and RCC, I know for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. It says the Wade Alliance is a community initiative under the direction of the Riverside University Health System Behavioral Health, RUHS BH, okay? Cultural competency program. This alliance focuses on building relationships and providing access to mental health services and wellness in the greater community, with a particular focus on reaching out to diverse populations and fostering cultural sensitivity. Okay, and now I'm going to take it a little further, and we're going to do a little dig into what is cultural sensitivity. All right, so let me open us up a new tab, and I can just ask that. What is cultural sensitivity? Cultural sensitivity refers to the ability to acknowledge and appreciate differences in beliefs, values, and behaviors between cultures, while not assigning a positive or negative value to these differences. Okay, now that's really hard for me. I mean, wow, I'm a part of this group, and I'm finding out a little more about what the Wade Alliance is and this cultural division that we have, because one of the big cultural things that I deal with personally is the LGBTQ factor. That one is big for me because of the way that I was raised, the household that I was raised in. And what they're telling me here is, the ability to acknowledge and appreciate differences in beliefs, values, and behaviors between cultures while not assigning a positive or negative value to these differences. Very well said, very educated response. And I'm just like, wow. Well, I was taught as a child to assign a negative value to that entire culture and society of people. Okay, but I also was raised in a household that talk bad about white people and put them down. And in my life, I've learned in many situations and areas that I could depend on white people a lot more than I could even my own kind. And I was much more ostracized in the groups and cultures that I grew up in, especially not wanting to be the person that's selling the drugs. If I fell in line with those individuals within inside of my culture, the area that I grew up in, then it was like, okay, yeah, you selling drugs with us, you hustling with us, you standing on the block with us, we'll accept you. So I gotta wear my pants sag and I gotta do all of this stuff so I can fit in to this culture that I came from, you know? And now at 45 years old, it's just not the case. I don't care. I've got my own thing going on with me and Jesus, and it's a me and Jesus culture thing. I find that I'm able to get along with Christians a lot better than I am anybody else because we're all trying so hard to be like Jesus and love one another. So let's look at this a little bit more. It's about respecting diverse culture norms and traditions without judgment and understanding that one culture is not inherently superior to another. Okay? Wow, you know, that's really deep. That is really deep. All right, here's a more detailed breakdown. Awareness of acceptance. Culturally sensitive individuals recognize and accept that cultural differences exist and are valid. Respect for diversity. They show respect for the beliefs, customs, and practices of people from different cultural backgrounds. Empathy and understanding. They strive to understand the perspectives and experiences of others from different cultures, even if those perspectives differ from their own. They are willing, adaptability. They are willing to adapt their own behaviors and communications. Oh, wow. Is that Dakota Brown?
Yes, I am so sorry. Ever since the time changed, and I know
It's not that long ago. It's long enough where I should have this. My times are all messed up. I so apologize, Joseph.
Oh my God. You know,
Ah,
guys, Dakota Brown is on at 9:15. She should have been here since 8:30 this morning.
I'm only
And
45 minutes late.
I'm only 45 minutes late. So
And
I'm
I
wondering, do I continue on and allow for, do we run the show an extra hour so that Dakota Brown can have her time?
you you think about it. It's all in your part of the court. I would be glad to come back, or we could spend 15 minutes, and I can come back. It's up to you, Joseph,
Oh
my dear
my
friend.
goodness gracious, Dakota Brown.
I believe I did
This
that.
is marvelous. She got me over here messing up with my now my whole my faders and everything. I have done my best to explain Dakota, so
Yeah,
I will go
thank
ahead
you.
and let you guys see her lovely face. Okay, so this is Dakota Brown. Did you
Yeah,
get a
I know
chance
I
to?
discombobulated you for a bit. You know what? But what do they say? Roll with resistance, right? We're going to adapt to the moment.
I believe honestly that you did it on purpose, that you wanted to see if I would be able to handle it under pressure. And I think that I rose to the occasion and proved that I am definitely the Hemet Beat Daily Show host that
You
I
are.
claim to be.
You, you came through. You came through. Oh man, this is just embarrassing. I was out walking my dog and I saw my alarm went off and I went, oh, okay, cool. No, I'm good. I put that note in early and I thought I was coming on 15 minutes early instead of 45 minutes late.
You thought you were coming on 15 minutes early. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Dakota Brown, everybody.
Thank you, I'm heroic. So,
Wait,
I
now
just
I've heard of fashionably late, but what do you call this? I mean, is this?
I call this obscenely
Recording
late,
in
Joseph.
progress.
Obscenely late. Oh, this is just you decide how you want to do this. I'm yours for the next hour, whatever you want, or I can come back. I I I feel like I did a disservice to you and to your listeners. So, um,
People, I sent out a mass email to our multicultural people, and hey, Dakota Brown is coming out. Did you see the picture that I made for you?
I did. You did a really nice job.
You
I
like
didn't
that?
realize. I thought this was just some rinky-dink little outfit, but you got a real professional thing going here, so that's cool.
Okay, so I have a friend named Kevin Spear, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Kevin Spear the link to this meeting. That way he can join us. And what Kevin is he's the president of a group called Count Me In. And I know you've seen those with disabilities. Are you familiar with Count Me In?
I'm not, but I'm writing it down because this is going to be another good connection for me.
Yes, yes, yes. So let me go ahead and get this link and tell Kevin about the wonderful change that we have been afforded, because I do love to roll with the punches, and I do
Good.
believe that all things happen with a purpose and a reason. So I'm going to put
Why don't Joseph,
everybody.
let me interrupt here if you want. You can do that, and I'll go ahead and introduce myself and sort of take over for a minute just so you can go do your email to Kevin.
Okay, that
Is that
sounds
okay?
great. That sounds
Great.
great.
Okay, so I'm just going to introduce myself. Dakota Brown, she, her, they. I use pronouns. I identify as disabled, and so I am in. I am a liaison between County Mental Health, Riverside County Mental Health, otherwise known as Riverside University Health System Behavioral Health, or RUHSBH, and my job is to connect people with disabilities to mental health services if they need them. There's a lot of disabled folks who have been under or inappropriately served or under resourced. So the county, as part of its cultural competence department, really wants to reach out to these underserved groups, and people with disabilities is one of them. So in addition to making sure folks are connected to the mental health support they so badly need. We're also asking the disability community, of which I are one. I have a hearing disability. What can the county do to make our mental health services more accessible, obviously, but also more transparent, more welcoming? I think in the past, there have been some folks who have tried to get mental health services, and for whatever reason, the wait was too long, or they had a bad experience with the county. So I am the face of the county, and I am here to tell you that we are ready to serve. We're ready to help you. We have so many different programs, whether you're a Medi-Cal recipient or whether you're a stakeholder in Riverside County who wants to get like a little extra education on how do I talk to a friend who might be having some suicidal thoughts, or how can I deal with all this stress and pressure in my life. We have free classes to the community on wellness and positive stress. And yeah, I think that kind of is just a short introduction. Since I don't want to, okay, yeah. Right. So first, though, just so that people know me, I want to say a few things about myself. As you know, I'm disabled, but also I had a radio program, a national radio program, for many years. I spent 30 plus years, because I'm not old, being an entertainment radio professional, air personality. And when I was let go of my position in Denver about 10 years ago, um, which I think came from ageism, but how do you prove that? Do I have the resources to take a lawsuit? All that. So I came here to be with my mother. I live in Desert Hot Springs, and I went through a terrible transition in midlife, changing my career from entertainment radio to mental health. And so, hi, Kevin. Nice to have you with us.
Thank
I'm
you.
just telling a little bit about myself. So, in that interim, before I got hired on with the county, it took about 3 years. Um, of trying to scramble up work, trying to find a new career, getting trained in behavioral health services. And it was a difficult time between jobs. I just wanted to hurry up and get hired and know my place in society again. And during that time, I was a Medi-Cal recipient. I couldn't afford, regular insurance. So I had Medi-Cal, and that saved my life. If I hadn't had Medi-Cal during that period, I very well might not be here. I identify myself as somebody who's in recovery from mental health illness symptoms. So that's my Medi-Cal story, and I'm grateful to it because that's really the only reason I'm here, along with support from my family and friends. So when Medi-Cal, which is also known as Medicaid, across the country, but here in California, we call it Medi-Cal. So when you hear Medicaid cuts, that's us, that's Medi-Cal, is under attack. And do you just want me to roll right into it, Joseph, or did you want to
Well,
stop
I
and
mean, now you said some other stuff, and I found some pictures of you rolling with cola, and I was like, yo, I want to show these pictures of her rolling with cola. I'll make sure that I do that at a later time because
yeah.
we also have Kevin, who we need to make sure that we find out from him. So everybody, let's do what I learned inside of peer group. Let's take a deep breath and
This is why we arrive
release.
on time to events, is because then we're not in a frantic rush.
Okay, you're all good. Okay, so Kevin, I'm gonna bring you up to speed. We started today at 8:30 like normal, and Dakota came on at a beautiful 9:15. Okay.
Oh, well,
You
why
are
don't why don't
evil.
why don't you bump why don't you why don't you bump my entertainment report till tomorrow and let her finish out the show?
I was thinking that you should actually be a part of this if you have time.
Well, I'd love to. I just didn't want to step on her toes if she's just getting in the groove.
And
No,
I'm glad to come back another time, Kevin. I don't want to step on your toes either.
Well,
right.
We're
I'm
like those two Chippendale chipmunks, from the cartoons. You go first. No, you go first. Oh no, my pleasure. You go first. Remember them, Chippendale?
uh, of
Okay, but
course.
now so check it out. All right, so we have uh Dakota Brown, who is the disabilities liaison for the Cultural Society. I know I'm paraphrasing.
You're
And
good.
then we have Kevin Spear, who is the president of Count Me In, which is for individuals with mental health and disabilities and adaptive sports program out there in Hemet, California. So what I'm going to do, since I've been talking since 8:30, trying to maintain something that I couldn't, I'm going to step back and I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to let you two individuals talk it up and talk about the autism walk that's about to happen and all these wonderful things that I'm sure the reason why this happened is so that this could happen, so that two worlds could collide and make a whole new. I'm gonna step back now. Go ahead, guys.
I love that. And so we won't be colliding as much as we'll be meshing and integrating with each other. How's that? Ooh.
I'm getting excited over my new partner Dakota.
Thank you,
So
Kevin. So I actually just brought up the Count Me In website, and I'm looking at it, Transforming Children's Lives. Is this the one?
that's the one.
Yeah, nice website. It sounds like you're doing really good work. So are you making sports, adaptive sports for kids mostly, or what is the
Right.
main
Most
thrust?
of most of our members have cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism. They have various diagnoses, and they love the bowling on Wednesday. They love the art on Thursday. They really enjoy the social skills class on Friday. I don't know what that beautiful behaviorist does in that room, but they just come out of there on fire, and it's nice to
Oh,
see
that
those
is.
guys. Joseph's done a great job with our website and our Facebook page. So all the pictures you see on our Facebook page or website give you a great idea of who we serve, whether it's in a classroom for social skills or art, or whether it's in the basketball court or the bowling alley. And
And you're
most,
based out of Hemet, is that right?
yes, yes.
Okay. That's a
So
great resource because
Oh,
we have some Hemet behavioral health consumers who
let,
might be interested in adaptive
yeah,
sports.
that sounds
hey,
great. But
let
I,
me let me butt in real quick. I want to make sure that Dakota has the right website because there's a couple count me ins out there.
Uh,
Okay, so I want to make sure that you have the correct website, and I'm going to send that over inside of the comments right now
in the if you put it in the chat, I'm
in
at
the chat.
countmein.org. Is that
Okay,
not
yeah,
it?
see, that's not us. We're
Okay.
uh, .net.
and there's a
Okay,
dash. There's dashes. Count-me-in.net.
Oh, that's why, because
right.
I just
I,
got
I saw
a
that look on your face when he said that Joseph did all those pictures, and I'm like, yeah, she must not be looking at my work. She's happy over there.
oh, I think you're underselling yourself. Oh, here we go. Yes, empowering special needs through fitness and socialization
Oh, that sounds like
enrichment.
me. All right, now I'm gonna
I'm
shut up again.
there. Yes.
Well,
Oh, I
let me
love how
just.
you have little icons next to each of the on the
Yeah.
calendar. You've got the yoga picture next to Mondays, and Friday you were talking about the social skills. Okay. Is that
So,
Bruce Hall, who is the
uh,
facilitator for that?
no.
Oh,
That's just the building. The Methodist
oh,
Church in Hemet's a huge block, square block with many buildings. So that's the name of the building we do the classes in. The main building is where we have our giant monthly dances and some of our larger awards programs. But I do want to tell everyone about the Art of Wellness, since this is Wellness Wednesday on May 8th at Valleywide on Esplanade in San Jacinto from 11:30 to 4:30. There's going to be a slew of mental health programs that are offered right here in Riverside County. So free food, entertainment, hear about all the mental health and wellness programs the county has to offer at this huge exhibit of mental health that the Valleywide Park and Rec District loves to put on. So everybody should know where Valleywide is on Esplanade, uh, just past State Street, and come on over that day and eat and laugh and see the free entertainment. That's really important because a lot of times people don't know what services are there. You're depressed, you might be suicidal, you might want to find an Emotions Anonymous meeting, an Overeaters Anonymous meeting. Who knows from A to Z what your situation is, and you can find out on May 8th at Valleywide, or going to the University of Riverside Health System website. They've got it all rolling. And then don't forget Thursday, tomorrow, at the Culture Matters Symposium at the Moreno Valley Convention Center on Frederick Street, Malcolm. Joseph's going to be performing around 12 o'clock. So I'm excited to see him there and to be at that event because, culture is really what it's all about.
can I
You know,
just want to say something about culture too. Sometimes we think of a sense of belonging and feeling part of a community and having purpose in life, that these are nice things to have. But what we're learning through science is that these things are vital to our mental health. These are not just airy fairy ideas of a perfect world. These are actual mental health wellness tools.
oh,
And if we don't have social supports, we can just fall through the cracks. So that's,
exactly. And in
yeah.
this big society where we're not the small town where neighbors took care of each other, we got to feel like we belong and we fit in. And that's why our name is Count Me In. And that's why these events are so important. And the science is putting out recently all the studies on loneliness. So it's really important that people feel they know who their culture is, they know what their culture is, and it it's amazing when you ask a room full of people, "What's your culture?" They just sit there with a blank stare. I don't know what my culture is.
Mhm.
Well, how did you live? How did you grow up? Your house, your neighborhood, your area, and
You
so
know, and I want to tap in on that culture myself right now because as you guys are talking about culture, in my mind, as a young black man that came out of the 80s crack epidemic and had a father that, suffered from substance abuse and the different things that went on inside of the community where I was raised, I wonder what your lifestyles might have been. And I imagine these picket fences and beautiful homes and stuff, which probably is completely far from the case of where you grew up, you know. But this is, and I'm thinking, yeah, I came out of this horrible gang banging, drugs and violence, and I've made it through the streets, and a gang of people from my era are dead in a grave right now, but I'm a survivor, and it's just crazy how that's as I begin to understand more about what culture is, this is the culture that I came from: drugs, gangbanging, violence, and substance abuse.
Yeah.
Well,
And
welcome to the modern America, huh?
yeah. Yeah. And, our culture of course brings us challenges. It also brings us gifts, and one culture is not to be compared to another. Like my dysfunction can't be compared to somebody else's, but we are each brought up in an environment that sort of created and built who we are, and let's just at least recognize that so we can either celebrate it or address the challenges involved.
Wonderful. Well said. I'm going to get your
Oh,
phone number from Joseph off the air and share some more information with you if you don't
yeah,
mind. And
I'd really like to connect with you, Kevin. Thank you.
I'll close out with Black Infant Health programs put on by the Riverside University Health System. The website for the Hemet Beat has all this great information, and you can get the phone number for the Black Infant Health Program. It's just terrific, and you're going to be able to learn so much. And if you're over 16 and you're pregnant or you have a newborn, these programs are right up your alley, made for you, tons of resources. And it's amazing how many people are out there giving away car seats and playpens and cribs and food and diapers. You just got to find out where to get them. And
You know
that's
what? The county has also altered its approach to maternal health, especially for people who are still in their substance use. The shame has been taken out of it. It's like, come to us. We don't care, what's happened in the past. Let's support you. How can we help you through this? Some, momentous occasion in your life. How many times does a person give birth?
yeah,
Hopefully
that's right.
not too many, but what's too
I
many?
hear you.
25, who knows? My mom
Well,
had 7 of
uh,
us, so I came from a big family.
well, you did. So a pleasure to meet you, Joseph. Back to the studio to you, my friend, and thanks for letting me give a entertainment report once again to all your fans.
Hey, thank you. And I would love to say that, you probably have more fans than I do. So thank you for showing that bright and shiny face so we can get some people to tune in.
Yeah, you're funny. You're funny.
Great to meet you, Kevin. We'll be in touch, you and
Okay,
I.
wonderful. All right, bye.
Bye
All right,
bye.
bye bye, Kevin.
I didn't get a chance to tell Kevin, but I want to tell him that he got a rare treat, and then I actually accepted cookies on his website. I rarely do that. So,
If I
you
knew how
know.
to get rid of the cookies thing, maybe I'm gonna have to do some research to get rid of cookies.
Yeah,
Um, and
well, I
Kevin
can
is
tell
still
you about
sitting
that
there, so
because
I
I
guess
did
he
a I
heard you.
did a training. I did a training on that. They make it more difficult. You have to go through an extra step if you want to not accept the cookies, because that's the tricky marketing people. But yeah, and cookies are not necessarily dangerous, but they can clog up your computer. So if you can avoid accepting cookies, use that option. It'll take an extra second to go there and to uncheck the cookies. But yeah, cookies are not always the best thing in the world, believe it or not.
Unless they're Oreo or Chips Ahoy,
Hmm.
I'm not
White
really a
chocolate
fan.
macadamia.
Okay, so now back to you. We're going to go ahead and give you your time so that you can run down your spiel on the things that you want to let us know. And then, I always have the ability to go back, cut, edit, and shorten, long, whatever, you know.
I'm good at being brief. I can cut to it. All right, I want to double check with you. Are you sure you wouldn't rather reschedule? Because I'm glad to. You still want to
That
move
is the
forward with
beauty of having your own show. That means that
I love that.
anybody that wanted to tune out about 7 minutes ago, they can tune out, and whoever wants to tune in, they can go ahead and tune in. Is that a gnome?
Yeah, what I got to show you, because it keeps popping in my background for some reason. For some reason, here we go. It doesn't want to fade out sometimes. So when you see this, well, now of course, yeah. See how when you see that popping up, don't frantic. That's just the gnome getting on camera. See what I mean? It kind of wants to. All right. So I told you who I was. I told you where I came from, how and I will tell you, when I first was hired by the county, I was a peer support specialist, and that's where I developed the training for how to manage cookies on your computer. I created some e education programs, and then I was hired by the Cultural Competence Department to reach out to people with disabilities. And of all our cultural liaisons, we are all part of the community that we're serving. So that's why I'm disabled. We had a deaf liaison who served the deaf and hard of hearing population, so on, because people know that they want their servers to reflect them. They want their care providers to know, have experienced what they've experienced. But people with disabilities are under attack right now. Federally, the House Republicans are trying to put this measure through that's going to cut Medicaid by like 800. I had the number here somewhere. Deep cuts, $800 billion. And that is directly going to affect those of us who are on Medi-Cal here in California. Um, Obamacare, right? Otherwise known as the Affordable Care Act or the
Yes, yes.
ACA. If you're on Medi-Cal and you are using, IEHP or Molina, you could be at risk. There are some stakes here. And the Affordable Care Act uh, has this Medicaid expansion program for people with low incomes, disabled adults, and that covers 20 million people. Now, this is a prime target of this because some of the people who are trying to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse are actually trying to eliminate benefits for um, children and seniors and people with disabilities. They think of us as a drag on society. And I can tell you that is so far from the truth. Um, well, I'm going to make a joke here. So kind of children are a drag, but that's because I don't have any. So I have a little bit of bias. But I mean, seniors, people with disabilities, veterans, these are people who have so much to offer. And these are people who are trying to work, are willing to work. When I was out of work, it was so hard. And we need to educate employers that hiring people with disabilities has several gifts that come with it. People with disabilities make very loyal employees because they've been turned down again and again for no reason. Employers are afraid of what kind of accommodations they're going to have to make. And what I will tell you is that half of all accommodations cost nothing, zero, zero. It's a matter of like moving a chair, so the cat or moving a cabinet out of a bathroom, or it's putting a sticker on tables. It's very low impact on a person on a place of business. So I kind of going on a side rant here, but I believe people with disabilities are trying to work and having trouble even getting work. And I've been on the other end of that, and I know. So um, this Medicaid expansion, the ACA, Obamacare, these people tried to repeal it 8 years ago and they failed because Americans found out, la di da, we like not going into bankruptcy because of, medical bills. So what they want to do now then is to impose work requirements on people with disabilities. Once again, we want to work. You don't need to put a requirement on us. You need to put a requirement on employers so they'll hire us. You need to make accessible job websites so that we can look up what jobs are available and apply. You need to put a ramp in your building so that I can get my wheelchair in there for the job interview, right? So healthcare is at risk. And there are 3 counties in California that can possibly be flipped over to vote against these Medicare cuts. And Riverside County is one of the 3. Now, as a person, go ahead.
Just listening, I'm being educated. I have
Okay,
questions that's popping up, but if I was to start asking them, it would stop you from educating me. So I'll hold my questions till the end or until the next
great.
wait meeting.
I will jot them down. And I'm coming to the end of the spiel here. Riverside County, and as a contracted employee with Riverside County, I'm somewhat limited in what I can say because we do remain neutral. But when it comes to people with disabilities, I'm not. I believe that the more help you give us, the more we can participate and contribute and become less of a drag on society. So that's kind of it. And so this rally on Monday, this disability rally to urge officials to uh, stop these Medicaid cuts and to keep Medicare because and Medicaid and Medi-Cal because really there's not the fraud, waste, and abuse that people tend to think there is. And I can guarantee it because I spend a great deal of my workday documenting exactly what I'm doing so that we can report to taxpayers, hey, I'm not just screwing around on your dime. Okay. I'm really busting my butt trying to elevate the voice of people with disabilities. So if you want to find out about this rally or participate, Disability Voices United is doing a really good job of promoting it and getting people registered. You can follow me on Facebook, and I'm under Dakota Brown Body Diversity. And on Blue Sky, my handle is Mad Dolphin, MAD Dolphin. And
Why Matt Dolphin? I had to ask that.
yes. Well, there is a whole movement called Mad Pride. And you know how a oppressed group will take the slur and reclaim it? You know, like women might reclaim the B word, or African Americans might reclaim the N word because we're going to control our own narrative. Well,
Wow,
people
I
who
never thought about that.
yes, yes, it's exactly it's an empowerment. And people with mental health illnesses have done that. We have taken this slam, which is you're mad, he's mad, he's crazy, and we've attached it to mad pride. And so what we're saying, many of us, is that uh, boy, so I have to be careful again about because I do believe in mental health support, and I believe in pharmaceuticals. I myself, I will share, I'm a person who takes antidepressants, and they've made my life a place where I can live now. So Mad Pride is about saying, yes, I have mental illness because the number one destigmatizer is when people of a prominent community are transparent, open about their challenges. And that's what I will tell you. I struggle with mental health symptoms. They are in remission for me, and I take medication for it. That's what Mad Pride is coming out and being transparent and saying that's who I am. So mad, so the mad, and then the dolphin is my totem animal. So and I just put those together as Mad Dolphin. That's my business. And I sew clothes, and I use that. And then I also, that's my consulting business. Is that a good answer? Should I have made up a better one?
No, because we're just getting to know who you are. We're getting to know
Yeah.
Dakota Brown. And that's what I really love about the Hemet Beat Daily Show is that,
Yeah.
like I was telling you, off air, that this is a place where we humanize people,
Yeah.
because somebody might see the Mad Dolphin and say, oh, well, there we go, another person fighting for no reason, another loudmouth, or somebody might
Oh.
see oh, well, she's a
Uh-huh.
part of the county, so she's got a title behind her name. She's beyond me, she's above me. But in reality, I've gotten to that point where I understand, no, Dakota is just another person that will show up an hour late for a meeting and enjoy her time.
You're never going to let me live that down. Yeah, Joseph, you and I are the same. This is the ASL sign for you and I are the same. We both, we have so much in common, you and I. And I like the way you roll. I like that when we met, you took notes and you wrote up a preparation form for us for this. You have, in a lot of ways, the same brain I do. And I like that about us.
Yeah,
And I'm excited about your performance tomorrow.
oh yes, so the multicultural symposium is tomorrow in Moreno Valley. It is packed. There is no more registration, but Kevin was requesting that we sneak him in at about 10 so that he's able to see my performance, and he said he'll promptly leave. So Kevin, if you're
Oh,
watching, we will try to make sure that you're able to get into the event, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if you've met Dee Dee. I think you met her on a meeting before, Deirdre Hampton. She's got an amazing story as well. She's the founder of the Living Hope Development Foundation. she also suffers with mental health issues and things like that. So she'll be there. She's registered. She's got a program where you remember all of that stuff I was talking about, the recording studio and taking those with disabilities into the studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Deirdre had the finances to actually cement the program, and then she had the 501c3. So she created another division of her program, which is now called Rhythm and Hope Music Therapy. Okay, and now
Mm.
we're taking those with disabilities, we're actively doing this into the recording studio. And what's funny is I didn't realize that Deirdre was going to be one of the most prominent clients. So, you kind of look past the person with the money sometimes. You look past the head of an organization because you're like, well, this person has their organization, they have their things together, and you don't think that they could be suffering as well. And last night,
Right.
she recorded her first vocals. And in the moment that she was recording, it's like something snapped, and God was like, yes, Deirdre is a client of this program, and you need to respect her as such. And I went all the way in and said, okay, let's go ahead and teach you how to record vocals. Let's get that thing that is inside of you out. And I got to witness something so amazing. A big shout out to Mr. Corcoran from Talkowitz High School. He came to the studio session, and I could go on, but I'm going to go ahead and let you tell us a little more about what you have to say to us as we approach. And let's give it 5 more minutes. That way we let our people go. Was that a Moses statement?
Yeah, you know what? I want to get my calendar up. So you know about the rally on Monday, and then next Saturday, that's a week from this Saturday, is the Autism March. And it used to be Autism Awareness Month and the Autism Awareness Walks, but now it's autism acceptance because they wanted to go a step further than just mere awareness into acceptance. Neurodivergency is being more and more accepted as people who have unusual contributions to make, not unusual, but sometimes they think, people who think differently, who move around the world differently, experience the world differently, and have different perspectives to share. And I've heard many times about a situation where a business has a team trying to come up with a solution and they get stuck. And the person with a neurodivergence speaks up and says, well, can we try this? And everybody's like, no, no, that we can't. Nobody thought, I wonder if we can do that. Right. So they can bring in new ideas that the rest of us neurotypical people don't think of. So the Autism Walk, the Autism Society Inland Empire is putting that together. Autism Society Inland Empire. You can go there to sign up. And what else was I going to mention? That I have a live stream later this month. I'm just looking for my
Let's not forget your live
calendar.
stream.
Yeah, wasn't there something in between there though? Between the live stream. Well, okay, I'll just talk about the live. So the Master Plan for Aging in the Inland Empire has a subsidiary group called the Inland Coalition on Aging and People with Disabilities. They've sort of grouped because seniors have a higher incidence of people with disabilities. In fact, here's a little side note. We used to think of them in terms of disabled or non-disabled, right? However, if you have the ability to live a long life and the privilege to live a long life, eventually you will most likely come to rely on some sort of mobility device or glasses or hearing aids. So now they're talking in terms of disabled and pre-disabled, right? So anyway, this is the Inland Coalition on Aging and People with Disabilities, and they do a live stream on YouTube. And coming up on April 29th, they are going to interview some of us, a fellow named Jax, who works with HIV/AIDS aging, and somebody with Hannah interpreting, and me. And we're going to talk about ableism. And ableism is when people with disabilities are relegated to unimportant or not relevant, or you can't get the services. It's an ism basically against people with disabilities. There's ableism says that we don't have as much to contribute. And ableism would show up in ways like when movies are made and the characters who are supposed to be disabled are played by non-disabled actors. That's an instance. It used to be 1 out of 10 characters that was disabled was portrayed by a non-disabled actor, and that's now it's like 3 out of 10. Oh, I did that backwards. But now more and more actors who are disabled are playing disabled characters, and that's why that show CODA, CODA, stands for Child and Deaf Adults. It was a great movie. Troy Kotzer won the best supporting actor for that, and he is deaf. So that was the first time a deaf person had ever won an Oscar, I believe. Certainly for
Wow.
supporting. Yeah.
You know
So
what?
that's, I mean, yeah, so that's a form of ableism. Maybe you are in a low sensory environment. Um, and maybe you're not supposed to wear perfume, but you wear perfume anyway. Trying to think of some. There are ableist microaggressions, like when somebody says to me, "Wow, did you take your meds today?" It's just like, give me a break. Or if they say, "Well, you don't even come across as disabled," and the reason that that is a little bit hurtful or offensive to me is because I identify as disabled. There's nothing wrong with being disabled. Why should I hide it? You talk about being disabled like it's something I should overcome when it's my identity. It's an important part of who I am. And when you say I don't come across as disabled, it also negates all of the work I've had to do to be here. So those are so. Oh, and let me tell you this one too. My brother-in-law has in his basement a home theater. He's an audiophile. He's got great speakers. He's got a huge screen. And when his wife, who's my sister, who also has a hearing disability, asks him to put the captions on a movie, he just kind of winces because he it's like he believes that his enjoyment of the movie is going to be compromised by her request to participate in the experience, right? So that's kind of a microaggression, that little wince. And ableism is real. So we'll be talking about that on the 29th on the live stream.
Okay, well, so with this last 5 minutes, so we've gone 30 minutes over with the last five. I'm going to go ahead and there was something that I wanted to show you, and I hope that you take this and that it empowers you more so than frustrates you because sometimes I can frustrate an individual without even trying. I have that ability.
Yeah, that's your special talent.
That's one of my special talents. All right. All right. So let's see here. Let me get this together exactly how I want to do it. Let's see here. Let's go over here. And I don't know if I'm going to get dinged, but you can see my screen, right?
Right, and I see the pull down. It looks like there's denim material under there, dark blue denim.
Okay, let's see here. You
Yeah.
are so beautiful to me.
Is this going to be Joe Cocker?
Is that who you like?
Sure. Yeah, that's the.
Okay, okay. So Joe Cocker here, and let's see if we can get him on. Hopefully they don't get us for this, but uh, I wonder if they
What I will
have.
tell you about this, it's a beautiful song, but if you watch him do it, he's really like, he's a little off-putting, and it's not disability. It's just how he delivered at the time back in the 70s and 80s, how he delivered. I don't think he's disabled.
Okay, so
I
this
think,
is Joe Cocker official. We want to make sure he gets credit when we play his stuff. You know.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So.
Are we
And
going to go
I,
out on this then?
and I'm gonna show.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me.
I had just come back from the dentist. That
Such
was after I
joy
had chemotherapy and my hair was
and
really
happiness. You bring such joy and happiness. You bring like a dream, a guiding light that shines in the night. Heaven's gift to me. You are so beautiful.
These are clothes that I sewed. My tucker. That was my last protest. Or the one before, yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you for that, Joseph. That was so sweet.
So you guys have been tuned into the Hemet Beat Daily Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And now I got to figure out how to pause this background music because it was coming to you live, and I don't want to get dinged. So thank you, Miss Dakota Brown, for all that you do. You are so beautiful, and God bless you. We will talk to you again.
Thank you, Joseph.
All right, bye-bye.
Recording.
Oh, you guys are still there. Glad I'm wearing pants this time. Bye.